welcome to the PR Rules podcast with me, Rhys Gregory. Today, I'm joined by Chloe Pugh, the marketing manager at Chambers Wales, and we'll be discussing how organisations use business networks, such as the Chambers of Commerce, as a marketing tool. So before we get started, Chloe, do you want to briefly introduce yourself and maybe give a little bit of a high-level overview of what you do?
Yeah, no problem. So as Rhys said, I'm Chloe. I'm the marketing manager for Chambers Wales, South East, South West and Mid. That's our official name. I've been in the role for quite a while now. And I pretty much manage anything to do with marketing with the Chamber, whether that's website, newsletter, social media, I do it all.
Brilliant. So quite a wide remit then.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you just said it there in your intro. What areas specifically do you cover in Wales then, as a chamber?
Yep. So South and Mid Wales primarily. So that includes like Swansea region, and then like Powys for Mid region. So it's South East, South West, and Mid Wales. And each region has their own different sector of main businesses that are there. And we just try and make sure that we're able to connect everyone and make sure that there's visibility for them all.
Brilliant. And obviously we work together anyway, so I have a bit of an idea. But obviously for those that might be listening, what kind of businesses do you represent? Sectors, sizes, anything? Do you specialise or? It's
pretty much all sectors now. So it's quite a tough one because obviously for Wales as a country, there are going to be specific sectors and industries that are more popular than other ones, like energy, like steelworks, anything like that. It's much more, but you find that dependent on the region, so for example, Cardiff, like business services will have a lot of members that do that rather than, like, you wouldn't really find, like, it's harder to find like a tech company in the middle of... I don't know, somewhere really rural in Wales, but yeah, it's all sectors. That's
fair enough. And that kind of leads me kind of perfectly on to why we're kind of here today, and why I honestly, I genuinely think this is a really good topic that we should be talking about. So if I just give some context to what we kind of were just discussing a few minutes ago anyway. And I know you know this, but you know we're a PR agency. We run campaigns for clients. The Chamber is one of our clients as well. Part of our job is to ensure our campaigns are as targeted as possible. You know, whether that's media publications that we kind of choose, the types of social media channels and content. You know, whether it is a press release, a blog, or a video. And in our planning meetings for those campaigns, we will ask clients if they are members of a trade body or business group, you know, whatever you want to call it. And if relevant, we will make some suggestions on, you know, which ones they should kind of join and why. Now, from our point of view, and I know we were just talking about this anyway, we see it as another, the Chamber for us is another marketing channel. And, you know, we tell clients they can use it for lots of other things, which we will talk about. But one of the misconceptions that we often come across is that we find businesses primarily associate groups such as the Chamber with just kind of networking events and an opportunity. And I don't know, is that something that you find as well?
Absolutely. So this is the thing. So for our chambers, every chamber is different. Our main purpose is to promote, connect, support and inform. So networking kind of takes over that connect aspect. But I think it's overlooked that we want to shout about what businesses are doing in Wales. We want to share their press releases, their news, and just create that membership community. So it is networking, but marketing can allow you to network to the right people, if that makes sense. And then inform as well. So we don't just promote business news. We talk about government policies that are coming and how that will affect businesses. And it's important for businesses to be aware of of issues that can affect you. An example I can give is the plastic ban that came in on the 30th of November, because that won't just affect a couple businesses, that can impact a whole wide range of sectors, and it's important that information like that is accessible. So main purpose.
But going back to what we were saying there about using maybe the chamber as a marketing channel, of course, kind of one of the biggest advantages is that you already have an engaged group of businesses that people can kind of tap into. But what does that actually really drill down and look like? So again, I know we've talked a few examples already, but kind of what should members be coming to you as well as you go into them? So if they're doing something, so for example, they're investing or they're in recruiting. Should members think of the chamber in those ways as well?
100%. We welcome any news from members because we have a good relationship with all of them, really. And if it's important to them, it's going to be important to someone else that may be interested. And it's reaching those right businesses. It may not be relevant to everyone, and we're very conscious as a chamber about that, but we want the news, we want to share it, and there's a different ways to go through it. So whether that's through the account directors that they speak to regularly, or if it's something that's a bigger piece. So we differentiate between what's classed as member news and then what's classed as main news. Main news is economic related, or just it can be blog pieces that are just general advice pieces. That's more of our main platform, but we welcome all members to provide news to us, and they can do that themselves as well. So they don't need to rely on us to wait for us to do it for them. We have our portal. So
just taking one of those many things as an example, then, if we came to you and said, "Look, we're looking to launch a new product or service," what does that look like? Can we just give that to you? What do you then do with it? What's the process behind all of that?
So for example, if it's a product, what we would need is information, context around it, how it will impact people, how it will impact process, and what's the wider implications of said product. And then from that, we can then decide and work around, right, where's the best place to put this and who's the right audience for it. So the way to do that would probably to maybe first get in contact with our account director, tell them about you've got a new project, and then the account director will introduce me into the mix.
Perfect.
Which will then give me the opportunity to speak to them and say, right, what are you up to? And then I'll have the opportunity to ask those questions, like I said. And then we ask members to write it themselves in their own voice, because we don't want to steal their personality away from them, because we're very conscious about branding. And yes, the chamber has its own one, but these businesses have their own curated ones as well. And then once this piece is made, I will then show it to them, make sure they're happy with it. And then dependent on purpose and place, it will either go on the portal, or go on the main news, or it can go in our newsletter.
And do you think, is that the best way then? So if we're a chamber member, and we actually are a chamber member, should we reach out to our kind of account manager, director in the first instance, or come directly to you? What's the best way? What makes things easier for you as well?
For me, it's best to go to the account director first, because we do actually get quite a lot of content anyway, because we have to be reactive to wider news as well. And just for time management's sake, it's better if it goes to account director come to me, and then we can go from there.
Perfect. And so you've mentioned the website, and we could supply you with a news story, a press release, or something like that. Does it go on like your newsletter, your social media? What as a member, how can you help to kind of amplify that content for us?
Yep. So by all means, you can choose where the content goes. If you prefer it to go on our socials, we have a Twitter, well, formerly Twitter, now X, LinkedIn and Facebook page. We have a monthly newsletter, which we actually encourage our membership to, if it's a big piece of news and they want to get it out, they can reserve a spot, which is the member spotlight section. And the way to do that is to let the account director know, and then they can let me know, and I can reserve it for you. Unfortunately, there's only one spot of that per month. So it's important to make sure that you do book it in. But besides that, we also include then just other bits of news that maybe aren't as pressing, or it's member news, events and offers. We can also promote those, but that through the newsletter, but that's just dependent on what's up there already. And we have to be quite selective about it and make sure that we're not just regurgitating news from the same companies. So it's important that members really use the portal just to make sure that there's variety there. But social media, we welcome toolkits as well. So we do ask that our members design it and provide it themselves, just because we don't have an in-house design team.
Brilliant. And we talked about if we've actually got a piece of news content we're investing in, we're recruiting or something. But what about events? Say I'm holding an event next week. What can the chamber do in terms of marketing support for something like that?
Yep. So events, there's two options really. It's if you don't want any chamber involvement and you are completely self-sufficient with it, that can go on a membership portal, that can be uploaded by themselves, and that's for our other membership to see. It's for our other membership to attend, but then the other option is that we love to collaborate with our members as well. So if you've got an idea but you're not really sure what to get started with, our chamber has an events department that is available to help you get set up with your venue, and we can then help invite our membership base to those events as well, because we might have the businesses that you want in attendance.
Perfect.
And in marketing terms, it's because we have that network of businesses and you want a specific audience, we will reach out on your behalf to them via email, social media. It just depends what you think is best and what you want at the time as a business.
Brilliant. I know from our own experience when we've done events, that works really well for us. But you've also got the members directory as well, haven't you? So you could invite people kind of on our behalf, but we could also maybe tap into that as well. And I think there's some data on there, isn't there, that we could use, the member directory? Yeah. Contact data?
Yeah. So if you don't want us to get involved and target a wide range, and there's a few specific businesses you want to reach out yourself, you can go through our membership directory yourself, which is again in our portal, which is another benefit to being a member of the chamber, is that once you access that, you can see a whole list of every single member that we have on the roster, regardless of membership level. It's all there for you to find. Perfect.
Talking about challenges then, so one of the things that obviously we're in kind of similar roles, one of the challenges that we often find is kind of clients having good quality photos already or video content. And is that do you find that as well when people send you things?
Yes, I actually find that a lot of press releases we get, they don't contain photos, but we love them because as easy as it is to get a stock image now, it's great, but we love to have that human and personal aspect behind the business. So to take the photos, we don't really go and take them ourselves, or we'll recruit you to do it on our behalf. But we love imagery from our members, and this is an ask for more, really, for any members listening.
Oh yeah, and people know people know if it's a stock photo, don't they?
Oh yeah, 100%. It's really obvious, and then you'll see 5 other organisations that have the exact same one.
Yeah, no, that's right. And you mentioned obviously you're kind of one person in your kind of your team. You're responsible for quite a bit. So obviously you could be inundated with kind of lots of these things and lots of these requests as well. So going back to what we were talking about, and we find it as well as a PR agency. So if we are hosting an event or we do have a piece of news coming out, when would be the best time for kind of people to contact you? I mean, preferably like maybe not the day before.
Absolutely, yeah, that has happened a few times, but I would say as soon as you think about it, just to allow us time to schedule the content, because we're aware of bigger picture things happening. So it's the sooner the better. I would recommend maybe 2 weeks in advance, just in case you want us to make any edits, and then we can get that back to you just so you can approve it and make sure that you're happy with the edits, and then we can put it live then, because we don't want to upset any of our members and change who they are and their voice, and make sure that we're hitting the key points they want. But yeah, definitely not the day before. Yeah. It makes things a bit harder.
But I imagine it probably still happens, doesn't it?
Yeah, it can still happen. Yeah. If it's really urgent, yeah, we are more than willing to do it. We have to shuffle a few things around, but.
I think we'd say exactly the same thing in terms of as much notice as possible. And as you say, that allows you to plan as well, so that maybe it does go in a newsletter, maybe it does go on social media. If it is the day before, it's not gonna help anybody, is it? So what about trends then? What's kind of new? What's happening? What's kind of coming down the road from the chamber? What should people look out for?
So, what should they look out for? Well, and
from what you can actually say.
Yeah, I know. So a big aspect of the chamber, which I haven't mentioned yet, is that we manage a lot of international trade as well. And the chamber has a network that expands just beyond the UK. There's chambers all around the world, and through the British Chambers of Commerce, which is pretty much what our chamber's part of, we can reach those audiences, and we're actually creating an international trade newsletter to go out as well, because a lot of what we do is very Wales centric, and we want to expand that now. So exporting, importing, so that's a new thing we're working on. We're doing a lot more videos now as well, especially for our events. We're promoting that now. I don't know if you saw today, but we've just released our event schedule, which is a chamber we haven't done before, and we've gone right up until September. So yeah, there's that coming. But trends-wise, and I'm trying to convince the chamber to let me do it, but to have a TikTok account.
what would you use? Because actually, we could do an entire podcast about TikTok anyway. But why would you? What's the benefit to say the chamber or its members by you guys going on TikTok?
I think it would humanise us more, because a British Chambers of Commerce branding is quite clinical in itself, or it sounds quite government official. But I think it's important to know who the people behind the chamber are, because we are just people. We're not we get to know our members. We want to know the more that we can know our members, the better we can service them, essentially. And I think it gets lost sometimes that we are just people too. And I think TikTok is a great platform because it's very visual, it's very dynamic, and it's very quick. And from my perspective, the way I see social media going is it's becoming more and more instant as time goes on, and it's important to keep up with the trends. And if it is a trend, you've got to get on it.
And I imagine, as you said, you don't necessarily overly specialize in any particular sectors or size businesses, and so you will be wanting to kind of reach both maybe the more serious manufacturing, and then almost the other end, maybe some startups, maybe some fintechs, maybe some of those organizations that are using TikTok already. Yep.
So it's about reaching those different audiences. So because we have such a variety of sectors, you'll find that they'll use like digital marketing differently. So like a lot of new businesses that their brand is very fun, light, colourful, they'll be very much on the social media sort of bandwagon way of marketing, whereas and networking as well. That's how they find out what's going on. Whereas you'll have older businesses maybe that have been more long-standing, and they've got they're set in their ways of how they're best to connect, like with their supply chain and everything. So it'll be more face-to-face in person, but it's important to balance that out and make sure that you diversify what you're doing.
Well, I can't wait. So if you get a TikTok, you have to let us know. We'll link to it in the description of this podcast, because I'm just looking at my colleagues now, and I'm just thinking, right, okay, Chamber gets a TikTok account. We're gonna come to you with some sort of idea and say, put us on there as well.
Yeah.
As I'm sure you will get lots of members asking you as well. One thing we haven't really talked about are the Wales Business Awards. So when are they happening? What's any info at the moment you can share?
I can share some because there's more information coming in December. So the Wales Business Awards 2024 are going to be in May. And we've already got our logo sorted and everything. Branding's all there. But it's going to be at the Vale of Morgan Hotel. And it's open for members and non-members to enter. And we have 2 new categories of awards to enter this year as well. So that's a new thing for us, because last year we celebrated our 20th anniversary. But this year it's another different vibe. There's a new theme every year, but this is the one year where we've decided not to do a theme and to just keep it very fun.
Why not? That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah. So this is a shout out now for any businesses that want to apply. Please do, and keep your eyes peeled, because announcements will be going out on socials, in the newsletter, on our main website, and it'll all be coming soon.
Brilliant. Because I know from being a PR agency, our PR background, so many opportunities with entering awards. And again, that would be something that we'd typically look to these business organisations for. So that's really interesting, and sounds like people have probably heard it here first with that information. So just to kind of start to finish things off a little bit, if somebody is interested in becoming a member or having a chat, where can they go to find out more information? Oh,
well, on our website, our details are all there. If you want to find more information about the Chamber, visit our website. And if you want to find more about specific people within the team, we've got our Meet Our Experts page, and it lists all our job descriptions. And then if you have anything that you want to share, any press releases or anything, or you just want some more insight about what we can do for you regarding marketing, it's probably best to email our info@email, which you can see on our main news webpage.
Perfect. And we'll include links to all of this also. So if people haven't had a chance to write anything down, we'll get that sorted as well. So that only kind of leaves me really to say thank you for kind of coming in and speaking with us, and we'll be sure to look out for the awards launching very soon. Thank you.
No problem at all. Thanks for having me.